Hello dear students, today I will be discuss about the part 5 unit 3rd electrochemistry. This is the second last part of this chapter. After studying the part 5, you will be able to explain Colas law and its application for weak electrolyte, explain Faraday's first and second laws, and also you will be able to do questions based on above topics. So now let us start Colas law. Colas law of independent migration of ions. Now Colas determined limiting molar conductivity, that symbol is lambda not m, values of pair of some strong electrolytes containing same cations, say Kf and KCl. Here cations are same. NaF and NaCl, here also cations are same, and found that the difference in molar conductivity values in each case remain the same. That is lambda naught m KCl minus lambda naught m Kf. This is equal to lambda naught m NaCl minus lambda naught m NaF. He also determined lambda naught m value of pairs of strong electrolytes containing same anions, say Kf and NaF. Here anions are same, KCl and NaCl anions again same, etc. and found that the difference in limiting molar conductivity value in each case remain the same. Lambda naught m Kf minus lambda naught m NaF equal to lambda naught m KCl minus lambda naught m NaCl. This experimental data led him to formulate the following law called Colas law of independent migration of ions. That is, ions are independent to each other if cations and anions are same. In that conditions, their migrations are independent of each other. Now, this law states that molar conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution can be represented as the sum of individual contribution of anion and cation of the electrolyte at infinite dilution. So this can be explained on the basis of formula also. Lambda naught m equal to lambda naught m may be written in the form of infinite value. So lambda infinite m equal to lambda infinite cations plus lambda infinite anions. This can be written in the NCERT like this: lambda naught m equal to lambda naught cation plus lambda naught anion. Here lambda naught cation is the molar ionic conductance of cation and lambda naught negative is the molar ionic conductance of anion at infinite dilution. The above equations is however correct only for binary electrolytes like NaCl, MgSO4, etc. That is, the molar conductivity of electrolyte depend upon the contribution of its individual cations plus anions. Now application of Colas law. First application of Colas law is calculation of molar conductivity at infinite dilution for weak electrolyte. In order to calculate lambda naught m for weak electrolyte, say CS3COOH. I told you about the weak and strong electrolytes. Weak electrolytes are not dissociated completely into the aqueous medium. For that, alpha is not equal to 100, it is less than 1. So here we take the example of CH3COOH, that is known as acetic acid. We determine experimentally lambda naught m values of the following three strong electrolytes. So this can be calculated if we know the value of three strong electrolytes, that is A strong electrolyte containing same cations H in the test electrolyte, say HCl. Second, a strong electrolytes containing same anions H in the test electrolyte, say CH3COONA. Third, a strong electrolytes containing same anions of A and cations of B, that is NaCl. If we know the value of 3, we can determine the limiting molar conductivity of CH3COOH. So for example, limiting molar conductivity of CH3COOH is then given as the limiting molar conductivity of CH3COOH equal to the limiting molar conductivity of HCl and limiting molar conductivity of CH3COONA minus limiting molar conductivity of NaCl. If you write the reactions, so CH3COOH, CH3COONA plus HCl will gives you CH3COOH plus NaCl. So here 3 limiting molar conductivity have given. So we have to find the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte like this. One question. Examples. The molar conductance at infinite dilutions of sodium acetate, CH3COONA, HCl, hydrochloric acid and sodium chlorides are given like this respectively at 298 Kelvin. To calculate the molar conductance of acetic acid at infinite dilution. So first of all we can write the reaction like this: CH3COONA plus HCl, this will gives CH3COOH plus NaCl. Here we have to find the limiting molar conductivity of CH3COOH. So now add the reactant and then minus, that is subtract the limiting molar conductivity of NaCl, so that we can find the molar conductivity of CH3COOH like this. The limiting molar conductivity of CH3COOH equal to limiting molar conductivity of CH3COONA plus limiting molar conductivity of HCl minus limiting molar conductivity of NaCl. Putting the value of this limiting molar conductivity, we find the answer 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So like this question, you can calculate the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes by using Kohlraasch law. Second application, calculation of degree of dissociation of weak electrolytes. Alpha is known as degree of dissociation. Sometimes it is also written in the form of X. So this is equal to molar conductivity divided by limiting molar conductivity. Here 0, that is not indicate molar conductivity of solution at infinite dilution. Lambda m equal to molar conductivity of solution at any concentration, but lambda naught m equal to limiting molar conductivity, that is at infinite dilution. So by this formula we can calculate alpha, the degree of dissociation of weak electrolytes. Third, it is also most important. So many times questions are asked from this formula. Calculation of dissociation constant of weak electrolytes. AB, we have taken the binary solution, that means a binary, that is cations, one cations and one anions, binary electrolytes. Here this will break into A plus and B minus. Now the initial concentration of AB equal to C, and but the concentration of A plus and B minus is 0. But concentration at equilibrium, we think that alpha part of C are dissociated, so that's why C minus alpha. This C alpha goes to the A plus C alpha and B minus C alpha also. So now K, here the right K is acid constant. If it is base, so we write the Kb. So this equal to product by reactant. Here product is C alpha multiplied by C alpha, divided by C minus C alpha. So that's why we got C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. Now the putting the value of alpha, that is alpha equal to lambda naught divided by lambda naught, lambda m divided by lambda naught m. We get the one more formula, C lambda m square divided by lambda naught m in bracket lambda naught m minus lambda m. By using this formula, we can also calculate the dissociation constant. So these three applications we can apply in the board examinations, which came from the Kohler's law. Now, question number 1. State Kohler's law of independent migration of ions. Write its one application. Regarding this, it is stated that limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte can be represented as the sum of individual contribution of anions and cations of the electrolytes. If lambda naught Na plus and lambda naught Cl minus are limiting molar conductivity, here two type of lambda are there, one lambda without peak, one lambda with peak. That means we can say a choti wala lambda or bina choti wala lambda. Those which have peak lambda denote the anions or cations, but without peak lambda denote the electrolyte limiting molar conductivity. So here, if lambda naught m, lambda naught Na plus and lambda naught Cl minus are limiting molar conductivities of the sodium and chloride ions respectively, then the limiting molar conductivity for sodium chloride is given by lambda naught m, that is NaCl equal to lambda naught Na plus lambda naught Cl minus. So that is the molar conductivity of an electrolyte is sum of the individual contribution of anions and cations. Now one more question is asking one applications. So out of three applications we can write one application. Kohler's law helps in the calculation of degree of dissociation of weak electrolytes like acetic acid. The degree of dissociation, that is alpha, is given by dissociation is given by alpha, that is lambda naught divided by lambda naught m. Question number 2. Calculate lambda naught m for CaCl2 and MgSO4 from the data given below. Here lambda naught Ca2 plus equal to 119.0 Cmn centimeter square mole inverse. Lambda naught m Cl minus equal to 76.3 Cmn centimeter square mole inverse. Lambda naught m Mg2 plus, lambda naught Mg2 plus equal to 106 Cmn centimeter square mole inverse. Lambda naught SO4 2 minus equal to 160.0 Cmn centimeter square mole inverse. So this type of questions look like very difficult, but it is very easy to solve if you know the properly about the Kohler's law. So now look the answer. We know that from the Kohler's law, lambda naught m CaCl2 equal to, it is the contribution of cations and anions. Here cations is 1 but anions is 2, so that's why we multiply by 2 to the anions. So here cations is 1, so lambda naught Ca2 plus 2 into Cl minus, because 2 anions are there. Now putting the values of lambda naught Ca2 plus and lambda naught Cl minus, we find the answer of lambda naught m CaCl2, that is 271.6 Cmn centimeter square mole inverse. Similarly, lambda naught m MgSO4 we can find like this, lambda naught Mg2 plus lambda naught SO4 2 minus. Here both the cation and anions are single, that's why we write only 1. Now put the value of these contributed cations and anions, we get the answer of lambda naught m MgSO4, that is 266 Cmn centimeter square mole inverse. So this type of questions, which when you seen that, it's very difficult, but it is very easy to solve by using the Kohler's law and understanding the Kohler's law properly. One more question. Lambda naught m for NaCl, HCl and NaAC. Here AC means acetate ions. Formula given CH3COONA or 126.4 425.9 and 91.0 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse respectively. Calculate for HAC, that is acetic acid. This I have told you also. So lambda naught m HAC equal to lambda naught m HCl, it is basically HCl, plus lambda naught m NaCAC, that is sodium acetate, minus lambda naught m NaCl. So by putting the value of these, we find the answer 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Now question number 4. This type of questions asking the board examinations. This contains 5 marks. So here 3 formula you have to use. That's why this will give you 5 marks in the board examinations. It is very easy to solve. The conductivity of 0.0121028 mole per liter acetic acid is 4.95 into 10 की power minus 5 Siemens centimeter inverse. So this is the conductivity. Mole per liter is the concentration. Calculated degree dissociation constant, that is K, if lambda naught m for acetic acid is 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So first of all we put the formula lambda m equal to K into 1000 divided by C, that gives the molar conductivity. Now putting the value of K and concentration with proper unit, we got the answer 48.15 Siemens centimeter square mole minus 1. Now we have to calculate the alpha. So alpha equal to lambda naught m divided by lambda naught m. Lambda m we can calculate 48.15 and lambda naught m given 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. H, this is the ratio of molar conductivity. So that's why this have no unit and the answer is 0.1233. Now we have to calculate K is mean acid constant, that is equal to C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. Now putting the value of alpha, we got the answer on solving 1.78 into 10 की power minus 5 mole per liter. Now one more important topic, Faraday's law. From here one numerical is also asking in the board examinations. It is also easy to calculate if you know this law properly with their proper formula. The amount of chemical reactions which occurs at any electrode during electrolysis by current is proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte solution or melt. That is M equal to Z into Q. That is Z multiplied by IT. Here I equal to Q equal to IT. This equal to also Ne. N is the number of electrons. I is the current in ampere. T is the time in second. So this formula denote the first law of Faraday's law. Now where the N equal to number of electrons gained or lost. F, Faraday constant, that is 96,487, or approximately we have taken 96,500 to calculate, to use in the calculation, so that it will be easy to calculate. I equal to current in amperes, T equal to time in second. Here you have to always notice that I have taken that always time taken in second to solve numerical based on the Faraday's law. This must be, you have to keep in the mind while using Faraday law. T should be always in second. If it is in minute, so you have to change into second. If it is in the hours, you also change into the second. Where M equal to, that is M is the mass of substance deposited and Z is electrochemical equivalent. The unit of electrochemical equivalent is gram per coulomb. Now we can calculate the Z like this. Z equal to atomic mass by NF, F with the Faraday constant, N is the electrons gain or loss. This equal to equivalent weight divided by 96,500. So this formula also can be used to find the Z. Now electrochemical equivalent may be defined as if I equal to 1 ampere and T equal to 1 second, In that condition, m equal to z. That is, it is the mass of substance deposited when a current of 1 ampere is passed for 1 second. In bracket, always time is taken in the second to solve numerical based on Faraday's law. Now, Faraday the charge on 1 mole of electrons, we can calculate also. So, charge on 1 electrons equal to 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Therefore, charge on 1 mole of electrons should be 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 multiplied by mole, that is 6.023 into 10 to the power 23. After calculating, we get the Faraday constant value 96,487, that is approximate taken as 96,500 coulomb per mole. Now Faraday's second law, the amount of different substance liberated by the same quantity of electricity. Here the electricity passing, if the amount is same, through the electrolytic solution are proportional to their chemical equivalent weight, that is W1 divided by E1 equal to W2 divided by E2 equal to W3 divided by E3, where E equal to equivalent weight of metal. This can be calculated as atomic weight divided by valency. For example, if we have taken the Ag, the atomic mass of Ag 108 and valency is 1, so equivalent weight is 108. Or atomic mass of metal divided by number of electrons required to reduce the cation. For example, if aluminum metal is given in the form of Al3+, in that conditions the mass of Al divided by 3, because Al lost 3 electrons and it takes 3 electrons to convert into Ag+, Al+. So that's why the atomic mass of metal divided by here by 3. So that is 27 the atomic mass of aluminum divided by 3. The equivalent weight of aluminum is 9. Now, where W1 is the mass of substance 1 deposited and E1 is the equivalent weight. Similarly, W2 is the mass of substance 2 deposited and E2 is the equivalent weight. W3 is the mass of substance 3 deposited and E3 is the equivalent weight. Now, some question based on Faraday law. How many moles of electrons are required to reduce 1 mole of Mn4- to Mn2+? Second, produce 10 gram of Al from molten Al2O3. So this type of questions you can solve like this. First of all, write the reactions. MnO4- plus 5 electrons convert into Mn2+. Here 5 mole of electrons are required for conversion of MnO4- to Mn2+. So that means 5 moles means 5 farad electrons are required. Second, Al3+ plus 3 electrons convert into Al. Since 1 mole of and 27 gram of Al is produced by 3 moles of electron, that is 3 Faraday. Therefore 10 gram will be produced. So 3 multiplied by 10 divided by 27, that is 1.1 mole of electron, that is 1.1 Faraday. 1 mole of electron equal to 1 Faraday. A solution of copper sulfate, it is electrolyzed for 10 minutes with a current of 1.5 ampere. What is the mass of copper deposited at cathode? The here time is given minute. We have to calculate in the second. To T equal to 10 into 60, that is 600 second. Charge equal to current into time. That's why 1.5 ampere into time. This will give the coulomb 900 coulomb. So total charge is given to you 900 coulomb. But according to reactions, copper 2 plus take 2 electrons, that is 2 molar electron to convert into copper. That is, we require 2F or 2 into 96,487 coulomb to deposit 1 mole of, that is 63 gram of copper. Therefore, for 900 coulomb, the mass of copper deposited. So now the mass of 63 gram of copper multiplied by 900 coulomb divided by 2 into 96,487 coulomb. So by this way we get the answer 0.2938 gram. So this type question may be asked from the Faraday law. Now question for the self-assessment. This you have to done by yourself. Your answer is given. The molar conductivity of 0.025 mole per liter methanoic acid is 46.1 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So that is lambda am given. Calculate its degree of dissociation, that is alpha, and dissociation constant Ka, given that lambda naught H plus equal to 349.6 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse and lambda naught HCOO minus equal to 54.6 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So this can be calculated from Kohlraasch law. Now second question, how much electricity required in coulomb for the oxidation of 1 mole of water to O2? So oxidize, write the reaction to oxidize water which convert into O2. This I also told you in the product of electrolysis. Second, 1 mole of FeO to Fe2O3. So first of all, you write the balance equation and then find the how many moles of electron taken part in the chemical reaction. So 1 mole gives 1 Faraday, that is 96,500 coulomb. Third, how much charge is required for following reductions of, that is 1 mole of Al3 plus to Al, this requires 3 mole. 1 mole of 2 plus to copper, this requires 2 mole of electrons, and 1 mole of Mn4 minus to Mn2 plus, this requires 5 mole of electrons. So here you have to find in the answer in the coulomb. So that's why 1 farad equal to 96,500 coulomb. So that's you can solve, that is convert farad law into coulomb. That is 1 mole of electron equal to 1 farad, that is equal to 96,500 coulomb. How many electricity in term of Faraday required to produce? This is question number 4. 20 gram of calcium from molten CaCl2. So first I'll write the reactions and then try to solve the answer. 50 gram of Al from molten Al2O3. Here answer is given. To also calculate from the Faraday law. Question number 5. Consider the following reaction: Cr2O7 2 minus plus 14H plus 6 minus. This reaction is also used in the D block elements. This convert into 2Cr3 plus 7 water. So what is the quantity of electricity in coulomb needed to reduce 1 mole of copper 3 plus? So here find the number of mole of electrons required to reduce 1 mole of Cr3 plus. So that mole convert into coulomb by multiplying with mole of electrons with the 96,000, that is 3 mole equal to 3 into 96,500 coulomb. Now dear students, do all work in the classwork copy. Prepared a note with the help of PPT video. Stay safe, stay healthy and keep learning. Thank you. Best of luck.